Beth, who's the country manager with Uniserv. Good morning to you, Bethwell.
Good morning, and how are you?
Very good. Now, tell us more about Bethwell and the education consultancy firm. What do you do?
So, as you've said, I work with Uniserv. I'm the country manager for Uniserv Uganda here. As Uniserv, we've been in the industry for over 2 decades now, and what we specialize in is placement of students abroad in different countries. So we have signed with over 400 institutions in different countries abroad, and we specialized over the years, we specialized in getting the information out there to students who feel like they do not know how to get to these universities in terms of placements, visas, and career counseling as well.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. And which countries do you offer admissions to in terms of university further education, and how far do your course lists stretch?
Okay, so we have institutions in US, Canada, Australia, most countries in Europe, and then we also have universities in Turkey, Cyprus, Malaysia, and as well as some African countries such as Mauritius. We also have we work with universities in South Africa as well as Dubai.
Okay. One would be wondering, you have options across the world, but do you also have options within Uganda? There's some people who would like to stay within the comfort of their home. East or West home is best. Do you have such offers when it comes to further education?
So unfortunately, we do not have any links with any universities within Uganda or East Africa in general, because what we have done is we just reached out to these universities that is not accessible directly to students from here. So we feel like if a student is interested in a local university here in Uganda, it's so easy for them to go directly and talk to them, give them their qualifications, and see how they can help them from here. But for those students who wish to look at studying abroad, then of course that's where we are here, and we are here to take them throughout the process, because we understand it might be a bit tedious for them to do it by themselves.
Does the firm only cater to the education element, or it caters to the other things that come around the education? Talk about placement programs, talk about housing, their stay while they're there, maybe work permits for those of them that maybe have to get extra money while they're studying.
Yes, so that's a good question. So what we primarily focus on is education and anything pertaining education. So basically what we do is we place the students at the different universities that we work in those countries, and in terms of other placements such as work, internship, it's the responsibility of the student and the university to make sure that at least they handle that side from that end. But normally what happens, universities in these countries in Europe, I'm talking about also the Western countries such as US and Canada, they work closely with these institutions in the industry that the student is going to study in. So they normally place the students in these organizations, for be it for the internships or, as you would say, placements.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about Priscilla, who's interested in further education. I walk into your place. Where you're located, and how do I get the process started with you?
Okay, so well, we are located just along Chintu Road, SM Chambers on the first floor, and so for Priscilla, when she comes to our office, the first thing that we'll do is, of course, sit down with her and try to understand whether she knows what she wants to do, because there are a lot of people out there who are not really certain on what they want to study, and when it comes to studying abroad, it's such a huge investment. You cannot afford to go and pay for thousands of dollars for a course that you're not interested in doing, or maybe when you reach there, you realize that this is not what you really wanted to do at first. So what we do, we talk about the courses. We talk about we give like a small career counseling session, so just to understand what they really want to do. Once we have identified the course they want to do it at, then we start looking at the different destinations where they can do it at. And the one key thing that comes into play is the budget. When you're selecting a location, when you're selecting a destination to study in, then you have to focus primarily on, of course, we have to understand what you need to, how much your budget can stretch to, and we base our search depending on your budget. Yeah, so once we have identified that, then we can go to the next step of the application process. So we'll give you a number of universities depending on your budget. It's upon you to look at which ones really appeals to you, and depending on, of course, the tuition fees, the location, and also the student life. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of which, I know that here universities now have about 3 intakes in a year. In admissions for your education firm, is it the same?
Yes. So what happens is the intakes really depends on the countries. So for instance, most countries have 2 intakes per year annually. So this is January and September intake of every year. The other countries such as Canada that has May intakes, countries such as Turkey, Cyprus, they're always open throughout the year. So it really depends on which destination that you want to go into. Yeah.
All right. Now, when it comes to some students, something could happen, maybe financially they are unable to continue on with the course. Is there a consideration for them to maybe take a breath, reorganize themselves, and then continue with the studies later on?
Yes, there is that cap whereby the students can take a break in their studies, but then again you have to give a reason why you wish to discontinue, because remember, before you're accepted, before you get your visa to go to these countries, you have to show that you're at least financially capable for your studies and upkeep in that country. So once you show that, then should there be any reason that you might want to come back, it has to be a valid reason for you to come back, and so that they are able to allow you to go back to the country once you feel like you're comfortable to continue.
Okay, yeah. Bethwell, in your conclusive remarks, why should one actually come to Uniserv Education Farm?
Yes, like I said, at Uniserv, we've been in the industry for over 2 decades now. With that comes with a lot of trust, and from not only from the institutions that we partner with, but also from our clients. And our services, I need to make this clear, our services are absolutely free of charge. So do not think that for you to come and get any kind of help and services from us that you need to pay anything. So you can always come into the office, have a quick chat with our counselors and visa officers, and we'll be able to sort you out at no cost at all.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bethwell. And that brings us to the end of Morning at NTV Wednesday's edition. Remember, it's the 1st of March. For those of you that are continuing on with your fast, may the Lord be with you through the Lent period. We are going to be done and dusted. On behalf of Chris Higeni and myself, Priscilla Regina Naloga, have a blessed day.